Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great opportunity to be here in Thailand, Bangkok, to address this modular building conference. And my topic is cost consideration integrated hybrid modular construction. Now, I'd like to introduce myself and my group of companies in Melbourne, Australia. Udaya Group, Udaya Homes and Communities have got integrated end-to-end solution under one roof. We have got the design and architect division, and then we have got the engineering, and then we have got the building and construction now, and then we have got the real estate arm. We have got licensed real estate agents. We can auction properties, we can sell properties in Australia right across, and also we have got the financial planning and financial brokering and financial educating sector, which we enhance the financial IQ of the general public for them to make better choices in life, to get into their own property and to understand how we can create wealth through property investments. So basically my background and qualification is I'm a manufacturing engineer by profession, and in my life last 25 years I've in different period in life I worked as a production manager, factory manager, general manager, and then 10 years I was academia teaching at RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia. Then also while I was teaching as academia, I engaged myself in research and invention. And then I became an author. I published my own book, and then written on again property investment. And also I'm a Justice of Peace in Victoria in Australia. And also I'm a registered builder and also a licensed real estate agent. So I got a couple of master degrees and diplomas across the world from United Kingdom way back in 1986. And then in 90s I did my masters in RMIT University. And then in between I did a couple of diplomas and other professional development to acquire my current knowledge while I was moving in my life through my different career paths. So why do we need modular homes in Australia? Number one is the affordability. Since I came to Australia, I can see all property prices are almost doubling every 7 to 10 years. So I thought there should be a method of improving the construction method, not only in Australia, across the world, because of the factor affordability. Because we are living on a planet, every year the land component is keep diminishing, and then the demand for the properties are increasing. So as a result of that, in urban areas, the prices of dwelling keep rising up. But and also we use the most inefficient method in construction, brick and mortar or concrete. So I started to think there should be a better way of doing things, especially when it comes to construction. So I started to think various avenues available or methods that we can develop to reduce the cost in construction. And then there are certain areas in Australia where the mining booms are happening. So there's an influx of people coming into smaller towns, creating a very high demand for dwelling. And as a result of that, there are very high acute shortage in dwelling in these little townships around where the industries are booming. So then modular building system was the one solution that introduced by various property developers. And my next slide shows the cost comparison across different states, low to medium to high finishes. And then if you look at this table, you will understand the house pricing for a low finishes per square meter. It is around Australian dollars 1,472, and in medium it is 1,774, and in high finishes it will be about 2,234. And you can see the difference between the normal one level house to a townhouse 2 level, and then unit development, that is multi-unit development, and then commercial, industrial and retail and hotels and motels. When you look at these cost comparisons, you can see a big variation. And when we do our research on if we introduce the modular building system, manufacturing most of this value-added part of the dwelling off-site and then transport onto the site, you can make effective cost difference between 30 to 40%. So savings in modular system was on-site construction is very simple. Everybody can understand the wastage of construction material and packaging, rubble, broken bricks and leftover concretes and the plastics, trims and insulations. They are the wastage factors on site. And apart from that, on-site skill demand and variation on degree of performance and efficiencies will make a big difference. Because until we test each single person in each single task, there is no guarantee about the final outcome. So once the job is done, there are only two methods that we can assess the final outcome. Either it is acceptable to the required quality standard or rejected, not acceptable for the required quality standard. So if that is the case, then if we reject it, then what do? We have to go back and unravel all done. So wasting material, time and skill and the labor cost that we have already spent, we have to do it again. So this is a very costly exercise, and this is the drawback in on-site development. There is no way that we can control the quality on-site, because until the task is done and it is in multiple different sites, we don't know where we are standing. So that's one key element why we need to bring this construction method under supervision, under the process manufacturing level, so that we have got a sequential activities happening in a manufacturing process, so that we can supervise, monitor, assess the quality and control it before it comes to the final stage. So, and also the construction cycle time. And most of this on-site construction, the biggest impediment factor is the weather. So, and which is unpredictable, especially in Australia. So in one day you can have all 4 seasons. So if we can mitigate this weather variation by working inside the factory premises, so that we can have better control in the process management, so weather will not be a detrimental factor to control the cycle construction time. And also the occupational health and risk is another factor that we need to consider. And most of the time, all off-site construction, we don't have any control of incoming, outgoing people, and most of the time pilferage happen, things are stolen, and vandalism is another drawback. So I did a experiment in 2003 by introducing a modular construction system, number 6 Hayes Road, Hampton Park, Melbourne. When I completed this project, I'll show you some photographs for you in my next slides, and you can see this construction was done on a steel structure, 2 steel bearers, light steel beam, and as per the slide, the picture, you can see bearers, web joints across the 2 bearers, and then the left corner, what you can see is the adjustable stump. By having those adjustable stumps, we can have 50 millimeter variation on to level the site, so that on these adjustable stumps we run bearers, and on the bearers we run those parallel joists, and then the floor come on top of that. And these are the units that we completed at Hampton Park, Hayes Road. You can see the 4 parallel units aligned on 1000 square meter land. And attempt 2 is the experiment that we did in 2003 by hybriding the wet module and a dry module, 2 modular units constructed off-site and then brought into the site, and we just completed on-site the fill-in part. So you can see the red color highlighted 2 modules sitting on the ground. That is the ground level floor plan. And this is the next slide, shows the finish after finishing 3D rendered pictures. And then attempt 3 is the experience we had in year 2003 once again, by introducing a hybrid construction to modular 6-meter units in Ruin in Melbourne. So this floor plan indicates the red color area to modules sitting there, and the filling part we did on site. So most of this off-site construction, you can see we completed all the wet areas, 2 toilet, 2 bathroom and a laundry off-site and brought it onto the site, and then after that we just connected them with the filling up areas where it's generally the free space by constructing them on site. And this is the single story off-site modular system once it is finished. Now this has been constructed, and about I think 10 years ago now. We have walked away and still performing very well. We never had any problems. So new concept of dry module and wet module is very simple. We have got 2 modules. The wet modules confined onto a 12-meter high cube container. We complete 2 toilet, 2 bathrooms and 1 laundry. And on the wet modules is the 3-bedroom empty space. Why we complete this in a modular unit? Because it's transportable. So we can manufacture this off-site, and we can bring them from a low-cost country to anywhere on the planet. And in the dry module unit, we can bring all the components required to complete this dwelling, the on-site filling part. So that way we can create a competitive advantage, and also you can hybrid this system by introducing local raw material, local labor and local energy, and whatever the local resources that you can find to infill in between the dry module and wet module. We can do it on site. So then even if you have the low-cost building system, by transferring the technology and resources to the operating environment, you can maximize the usage of the operating environment resources to create the value within that particular geographic location. So wet and dry unit advantage is the design capability and ability to expand on site with low value adding areas, and ability to bring all expanded construction elements simplified nut and bolt connecting method, and no skilled labor required to verify, very limited skill required. So on-site construction we can add on by using the local resources, and we have got very limited skill because most of the entire assembly process being de-skilled. So by using a normal screwdriver or nut and bolt, we can connect those units together by creating the maximum value proposition to the final outcome. So design options, we can see cost of the dry unit and cost of wet unit is the only capital expenditure that we need to invest, and then expansion, on-site expansion unit can create by using local raw material, and then you can create added square areas within the premises at a very low cost. So cost saved against similar unit, cost on-site construction, and then time saved, material wastage saved, saving on holding cost of land, total economic benefit you can pass on to the final consumer by creating this value. And then also we can mitigate the 100% occupation, health and safety and other risks associated with on-site construction. So this is the next slide, shows you some double story options. And then the standard connection details. These are the components that we will be manufacturing and exporting from the other low-cost country. And by using these components, we can create the additional space required in the housing unit. And these are some of the site expansion areas. Mezzanine floor, you can see the parallel bearers and the joists running across, and then you can create this additional space on site without any high skill labor. Business model. Now business model, cost is not the only factor to get the modular system into the residential, commercial and industrial market. Most of the people, they always focus only on cost per square area without understanding how the entire value chain can be created in a very cost effective way. So it's vitally important to get the integration of the manufacturer, developer, builder and the consumer to make the entire supply chain function seamless. Otherwise, no point of just talking about the manufacturing cost per square area, because it does not make any sense, because the manufacturing is done in a low cost country, and then there are so much other integrated factor involved getting this to a finished final end usable product, so that in the value chain we need to harness seamlessly all other value creation with the modular system, so that finally you can end up with the value proposition to the final consumer. But unfortunately nobody thinks that way. So everybody just focus on at what price you can create this modular unit. It's not a really a challenge or an argument. You can create the least value the modular unit, but how you transport it, how you get it onto the site, then how do you finish on site, and then how do you get the land prepared with the infrastructure. There are so many other after of things that we need to take into consideration when we come to that point. Therefore, it is very much essential for us to see that the total integration seamlessly, we need to start from a value adding point of the land up to the final consumer to make sure that this value is created benefiting the final consumer. So key factors in cost constraints: without integration of all stakeholders and taking responsibility for the final outcome, no modular system can be commercially viable, because there are so many stakeholders integrated in the total value chain with different skill and competency and experience, so that those value creators need to be really need to join hand together to create this final value proposition to the consumer. Otherwise, this entire modular building system will never work or never take off the ground. That is one key reason why the modular building system never came to a reality in the commercial world. Now people have understood that unless you have this total integration, that this will never going to happen. So exterior cladding should not be corrugated steel, and exterior cladding is choice, that the geographic location, neighborhood character and the cultural features in the operating environment you need to integrate with the modular system, so that we have de-linked the exterior cladding part to customize it on site in the operating environment to suit the neighborhood. Developing a brand image and developing a confidence in the marketplace is vitally important. The reason why people buy their dream home after spending so much energy, time, saving and emotions bundle up together to come for a place to buy a house, and they need to fulfill with comfort and confidence with the reliability and assurance for their investment. So developing a skill set for a ground handling is also a key element for the success factor. So therefore, guarantee, warranty, the skill set required to put these modulars on ground to suit their exact floor plan is a primary important factor, key success factor when you evaluate the cost and the benefit and the reliability of after-sales service and statutory warranty period for the completed product. And next slide, I have explained some of the comparison in real life situation, traditional on-site construction versus modular on-site construction. You can see that profit is almost 100% variation between on-site and the off-site construction. Financing the project in traditional financing method is not going to work in this modular building system. Why? Because there is no part payment available for you to get the modules onto the ground, and bank will not release any funding for the construction part, because as they do not have any value created before releasing the fund. So we have found a solution for this by talking to the bank. CBA, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, have agreed to operate in a finance model that enabling us to get the modular building system to integrate with the traditional house on land packages. So for further information, I advise you to talk to us directly. We can arrange the funding through Commonwealth Bank of Australia, or any other major bank will cooperate with us to do the same. So I'm going to show you a couple of slides which we are doing now in Hillside in Melbourne, Australia. And these are the views. You can see there is no absolutely difference between a normal house facade and this the modular system. And then the next few slides also indicate the floor plan and the roof plan. So my final statement is modular building system, now it's getting onto the ground, and we have got the finance model range already for you to fund the project. And then modular system going to be the future for any residential development and affordable housing. So I believe if you join hand with Udaya Homes and Communities, we can help you to get to this new way of living at an affordable price. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, or you can send us an email, or you can call us on 1300-887-107. I'm happy to answer any questions, queries that you may have. Thank you very much.